Hello, I hope it's not too loud outside. LA is crazy. I just wanted to start off with some quick encouragement because if you're watching this, you're probably in the position of looking for a job or someone you care about is looking for a job, and that is very stressful. But I want to say that I started off a little bit hopeless. I applied to like 75 jobs, didn't hear back from most of them, and it feels like you're out of control. But then it worked out, and you're like, who is that person? That's a different person. Look at me now. What I'm trying to say is that you're gonna get through it. I wrote cover letters every day for like 3 months. I even applied to a temp agency and interviewed there, just trying to get my foot in some door. But then it worked out, and now I don't know that person. But I did learn some lessons from that experience, and I want to share them to you because I actually feel like this might be repeatable, at least for someone who is in a similar field. So my background was in art and design. I studied at the Stamp School of Art and Design. I graduated with a 3.8 GPA, which is relevant later. A lot of people say that GPAs don't matter too much, especially if you're doing art and design, but that actually helped me get my job, which is why I wanted to mention it. At school, I focused on video production and digital arts, and so I was really just applying to anything sort of relevant to video or digital art or in the realm of design. I had 2 internships while I was in college. One was at a home decor startup, and the other was at a web development startup. So my background was at startups. I graduated in April 2018, and it took me around 3 months to find a job. And 3 months doesn't sound like a lot of time now, but when you're in it at that time, it can feel endless because you don't know it's going to be just 3 months. It could be a whole year. I still know people that haven't really found their full-time gig since graduating. And since most of my friends in college had jobs lined up before graduation, I felt like I was doing something wrong, or maybe I just chose the wrong field and I felt really down on myself. So how I got this job. I knew I wanted to be a video editor, and I knew I wanted to be in New York City. So I listed myself as a freelance video editor in the New York City area. And this wasn't a lie. I had done freelance video editing work throughout college since I had became interested in it. I would do side projects for friends and my community group, and so I had enough under my belt where I felt like I could say I was doing it freelance. And this was the most crucial step because this is how my future employer found me. They didn't even post a job that they had available. They just did the searching themselves. They went through LinkedIn's filters for video editors in the New York City area, and luckily I came up in the search results because that's what I listed myself as. I had a portfolio of my work available through my LinkedIn. At the time, I was just using the free Adobe website hosting service where you could post your work, and I had some links to all my videos. I'm not sure if they saw that before they reached out to me, but I think it's really important to have this readily available if you are going into a design arts field, to just have your work all in one place. I mean, if you're doing this, you probably are very familiar because they ask for your website frequently. So I'm not really telling you new information here, but I think it was helpful that it was free through Adobe. So they reached out to me through a DM, literally kind of a quick pitch of what the company was, and I almost ignored it because you know how you get like so many spam messages on LinkedIn. I just had no experience with someone reaching out to me in a direct message offering me a job. So when people ask me how I got my job, it's so funny for me to say, well, they just came to me. But it was really how I positioned myself on LinkedIn. I didn't really realize that this was a great way to go about doing it, but now that I have had this experience, I want to share it with you. Yeah, so they reached out to me in a direct message. It was Thursday. I finally got around to answering it on Friday just because a friend saw the message and they're like, are you gonna answer that? And I was like, oh, this is a real message that I should pay attention to. I'm used to spam showing up here. So we set up a quick interview over the phone, then I did an in-person interview. The following week I did another interview, and in the span of 2 weeks I got the first message to an offer letter. So it happened bam, bam, bam. The offer letter was Thursday, and I ended up going into the office to start on Monday, so it was super fast. If I had talked to someone 2 weeks earlier, I was probably telling them how I was really struggling to get a job, and I was so overwhelmed. And 2 weeks later, I had a job and I was moving to New York to work there. So that's how fast things can turn around. But between that Thursday of getting the offer and that Monday, that's when I negotiated my salary to increase by 22%. So how the heck did I do this? Because 22% sounds like a lot. Well, it wasn't a huge starting salary, so it actually wasn't so much. But I think there are some takeaways in this story that could be applicable to more people, so I'll just say that when we were doing our first interviews, they kind of just threw out a number and I said okay to it, not really having done research and that just sounding like about what I was expecting to make. But when I did research, I realized that wasn't even hitting the low range of what Open Door said that position would be making in New York. And I also didn't really understand how expensive it would be to live in New York. Like, I knew in concept it's very expensive, but I didn't have the numbers of what I should expect to pay for my apartment or transportation and food. Oh my gosh. So having more of an idea of how much it would cost to actually live in New York, like real number figures, that also played a role into me asking for more money. When they gave me the offer letter, I pretty quickly came back at them saying I was so thankful for this offer. I am really excited to work for the company, but I just don't think I can make living in New York work at that salary. And then I presented to them about how their offer wasn't even the lowest range on the chart for what Open Door estimates a video editor to make in New York. Like, it was significantly lower than the lowest range. So I asked for that lowest range. And that lowest range was actually more than I had expected to make. Not much more, it was like 3,000 more, but I still was like, oh, that sounds like a lot more than what they offered and even more than I expected to make, so should I even ask for that much? So I started consulting friends and family, and pretty much all of the men in my life said that they would ask for that much for sure. And all of the women in my life said they don't know if they would ask, and if they did ask, they wouldn't ask for that much. And so that's when I saw a pattern. It was like literally my dad, my uncle, my friends' dads, all the men were saying ask for that much, and all the women were a little bit more hesitant. And I was like, I'm seeing a very stereotypical pattern here. Maybe I just have to freaking ask for more because that's what the men would do. And I got more. I got exactly what I asked for. And then I was like, should I have asked for more than that? Oh my gosh. I don't think I should have asked for more. The number I got was from the data, and it was a startup. So I think I was pretty much hitting the cap of what they had to give to me. This definitely felt out of my comfort zone to ask for so much more, and I'm not really someone who likes confrontation or negotiation. I'm pretty much just a yes man. So it felt scary to ask, but I was luckily in a place where I was like, this isn't my dream job. I have nothing to lose. Let's just go for it. Worst case, they come back with a little bit lower of an offer, and that's kind of what I expected to make anyway, so just do it. And I freaking did, and I got the raise. And I'm so thankful I did. Every YouTube video I watch now about making more money is always saying that you have to negotiate as much as possible when you first get hired, because every raise from that point is just building off of that. So I'm very thankful that I mustered up the courage to ask at the time, and I encourage you, I am the woman encouraging you to ask for more. When I say it wasn't my dream job, it was because I studied art and design, and this was a medical education company. I was going to be looking at blood and surgery all day, and I've always been kind of squeamish, so I didn't really know if this was going to be a good fit for me, which is why I felt more confident to be like, you know what do I have to lose? I don't really know if this is going to be a good fit for me anyway, so let's just ask for more money. And if it works out, then it works out. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to discourage you from asking for more money if it is your dream job. I don't know, man. And just to solidify that it was a good idea to ask for more, maybe a year after I was hired, my boss asked me in a one-on-one if I had any idea what made him so confident that I was going to be a good fit for the company from the beginning. And I was like, my charming personality, I had no idea. And he said it was my 3.8 GPA from Michigan that really impressed him, and that I had the courage to ask for more money when I started right off the bat. And this meant to him that I would speak up for myself and ask for what I wanted in the future. I'm a yes man, so I don't know if I really carried through on that, but we have definitely found out that I am a good fit for the company because I've been here for 2 years and I think 10 months now. Almost 3 years. First job out of college, I've stayed here for almost 3 years. So pretty good fit, and it is a startup, so when I started there was like 5 of us and now there's 30, so it's just so amazing to see so much growth in the time that I've been there. So I'm really thankful for this unique opportunity, but I don't think it's unlikely for anyone else out there to have some success with this method of listing yourself as what you want to be hired for and then asking for what you deserve based on research. I don't know you, but you're watching a video and doing more research on how to get a job, so I have confidence in you. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.
Me.